Yes, this is the pre-stream. If you want to jump ahead to the show, it's going to be about 5 minutes from this point, give or take, where I come in, see if anyone joins me a little early, answer a few questions if possible, but also it's basically for my audio. Answer a few questions if possible, but also it's basically for my audio. Something. Let's see. It's here. Got. Minutes. Countdown timer. Joe. Something. Figuring all of this out. Little by little. Testing 1, 2, 3, 4. Testing 1, 2, 3, 4. Good. Interesting about the delay. Having to. I think they'd make it. This thing. Here, let's help you. Two minutes to go. Let's get the backup. Sure that one there. There. Uh-oh. It's not good. Now it's working. There we go. Now it's working. Testing 1, 2, 3. Testing. Good morning, good afternoon. Yeah, okay, that's where we're not hitting the high notes too bad. Looks like the sounds are coming through okay. Got exactly a minute to go. Just one. One person in. Show, whoever you are. See how it goes throughout the rest of the show. And I gotta make sure I stay on mic, so I better move this mic over. Because this is where I do my talking. It's over this direction. Move that up a little bit. Try to keep it out of face as much as possible. Let's see how it looks. There we go. That's not too. Yeah, I've got to get a cough block. That's next on my list of things to get into the site. That's it. Here we are, 12 o'clock. Time for the show. Let's roll it on over. It's episode 385, and I've got plugins for personalizing Woocommerce, creating videos on your site, publishing Google and Facebook reviews, and Gravity Form field management. All coming up on WordPress plugins A to Z.
WordPress. It's the most popular content management and website solution on the internet. And with over 80,000 plugins to choose from, how do you separate the junk from the gems? Join us for a weekly, unrehearsed conversation about the latest and greatest in WordPress plugins. This is WordPress plugins from A to Z.
Well, good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you happen to be hiding out there on the globe today. Coming to you direct from the brewery overlooking beautiful Victoria, British Columbia, Canada. I'm John Overall. And of course, I have the usual great show for you today, but right off the top, don't forget you can get all the show notes over at wppluginsa2z.com. And if you got a couple of minutes, greatly appreciate your time over on Stitcher Radio, Google Play, and in the iTunes Store, leaving me reviews to help the show. Every review really helps the show out and shows better. And remember, the reviews are per country, so it helps me in the individual country iTunes stores, etc. So go leave those reviews for me. I really do enjoy them, and I do get them here to the show as soon as I find them. Don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel. You can see the subscribe. Well, it's a reminder button. You have to, go down to the lower somewhere down there and click the button to subscribe. Hit the bell for notifications. That way you're notified when we go live. I've been thinking about the occasional random live show that might just pop up. It won't go into the podcast feed, but it could be a live show for whatever reason slides my way, and most of them would probably be in the evening after I've done my work. Anyway, you can also follow the show over at WP Plugins A to Z or A to Z. Join us on our Facebook page, and you can subscribe to the newsletter to get the latest news and information that we have going out. And the newsletter is getting pretty good. There's lots of really good information in there. And don't forget, it is the holiday season, so remember your fellow man. Remember people less fortunate than you. Support a community event. Go out and support your kids at their concerts like I did last night for my kid. Do all the things that make you feel good, and we should do that more often than just this 1 month a year. But for 1 month a year, well, everyone starts to think about how we can help our fellow man. So do your part. Get out there and do it. What else we got here? Oh, yes, and for those of you that don't know, today is D-Day. It is the launch of Gutenberg 5. I haven't seen anything yet. I haven't logged into my sites yet to see if it's waiting to be downloaded or not. But I know I won't be doing the updates. But tune in after I finish the show, where I will discuss all of my viewpoints and opinions about Gutenberg. That being said, let's head right into the meat and potatoes of the show. Okay, first up, I have my new segment here, well, relatively new segment, and it's the first couple of plugins. It's something I've decided to do as of last show, in that I have a serious backlog of plugins that have been submitted to me by developers. And unfortunately, I can't get to them. I don't actually have a need for them in my projects. I don't have time to get there and put them into a dev site and go through and see how they work. But some of these look like very good, useful plugins that, well, you, my listeners, would really like to know about. So what I've decided to do is, for the first two plugins of every show, there'll be plugins I have not reviewed by going in and digging into using them. I haven't used them. But what I'm doing is I'm reviewing them based upon the information that was sent to me, based upon the information if they have a dev site I can check out the functionality of it, those things there. So that being said, let's move on into the first one I've got for you. This was sent to me by Najib Ahmad, and it's a freemium plugin, and it's called WooCommerce Personalized Product Option Manager, or PPOM for short. Now what this one does, if you're a WooCommerce user, this plugin allows more than 21 different add-on fields to render on a product page. The options can have prices and fixed or percent bases, some special inputs like price matrix or variation quantities. You can use this plugin straight out of the box. The free version is running quite well on over 100,000 plus sites. Their premium version, which what's the price on that premium version? Oh, there we go. We started at the premium version site there for a second there, didn't we? Premium version, 5 sites. A single site's $25, so it's within the affordable range. So this is a plugin that will allow you to do a lot of things: text areas, radio boxes, dates, emails, numbers, hidden fields, conditional logic, export other meta. There's a whole lot that this plugin can do for you. It looks like a pretty robust plugin to use with WooCommerce. If you're running a store that you need some extra stuff in, extra fields, etc., this might be one for you to go check it out. So go give this plugin a check out. It's called PPOM, or WooCommerce Personalized Product Option Manager, and I give it a 4-dragon rating. Go check it out. Going great here, Larry. I always like to see some input from the listeners out there. Trying to figure out where to put all of my little tidbits so I can see the things that are on here. I actually need more monitors. Next plugin here is sent in to us by Dara Burke. And this one here is a third-party API premium plugin. And it's called Movely. And it's a plugin that will help you work with videos through your WordPress website. I've spent some time trying to wrap my head around it. They don't have a real clear demonstration on their site that I could figure out. But what I gather it does is they've got templates and video clips and sound files and text files and other things, and you can use it on your site to create short snippet videos that you then publish onto your site. If you use the plugin that I'll be bringing along before long, that will automatically create live videos to YouTube for you from your website, this could be a full circle for you. Who knows? Anyway, it does look kind of interesting. I don't do a lot of videos from my site. If you're doing a lot of marketing, this could be something very useful for you. If you're doing marketing from a WordPress website, it does work with Movely Studio and their HTML5 cloud-based video editor. So something to go check out. It looks really interesting. Looks like a useful plugin. I give it a 4-dragon rating. So go check it out. The Movely plugin from WordPress. And it's downloadable from their website or downloadable at wordpress.org. All right. This show currently brought to you by...
Take the work and worry out of maintaining and caring for your WordPress website. JohnOverall.com has 20 plus years experience and offers hosting, maintenance programs, emergency support, and more to keep your site up to date and running smoothly. We offer free estimates and only bill you for the time used, not by the block. While you're caring for your business, let JohnOverall.com care for your website. Think of us when you think of WordPress. Visit JohnOverall.com.
Absolutely. And when you're tired of lousy hosting, come see me. Get some really good hosting for your site. All the resources you need. And something everyone's been waiting for. Contests. We do have contests. The contests will be going live later this afternoon. We've just finished getting them all prepped, but we haven't published them yet. We're waiting for the announcement here on the show. And of course, all our contests are powered by Simple Giveaways plugin. They were kind enough to provide the premium plugin that powers all of our contests that are on our site. But what we're doing, we have quite a few things to give away. It seems the developers have been generous in the last couple of months, and we've collected up a few things. So we're going to, because it's December and because it's Christmas and everybody wants something, we've got 4 contests up here. The first one here is a copy of Woohoo. This is a plugin we reviewed some time back. Go look in our archives. You'll find out about it. It's a really great plugin. I believe Marcus did the review on it, and it got top rankings. So we're giving a free copy of that one off. The second plugin we've got going is a copy of the interactive US map, which was talked about, and I got more to talk about that later. But this is a really great plugin that, remember, if you've got an American client, hey, this is premium for you. You never know if you might even be getting an American client. It's a copy of the full functioning plugin. We got a license for the WP PDF Embedder. This is an excellent plugin. I use this one on several of my sites and my client sites. It really embeds the PDFs beautifully into sites and allows for downloads. And it, even with the premium version, it has a security setting to prevent people from downloading it. They can read it, but they can't download it. Kind of interesting, because it obscures the URL for it, and all it does is show up on the site. So probably possible to download it, but it might take some effort. I mean, nothing's impossible. And then finally, we've got a full year of Kanban. This is a full year of Kanban usage, or Kanban tables. This is a plugin that I had an interview with the developer on, and I did a review of the plugin. Go check the archives on that, and we'll make sure I have more information for that in the next show. So this is where we're going to go. The contest is going to run now through till midnight on December 31st. So it's going to run through till the end of the year, actually 11:59, because at midnight it becomes January 1st. So this is going to run through till the end of the year. And on January 2nd, the winners will be drawn, and the first show in the new year on January 3rd, that's when we'll announce the winners of the contest. And we'll have more contests after that. We've got more in the queue. So make sure you go check out WP Plugins, a2z.com/contests, and that's where you will find the listing of all the contests as they're up there. And all you got to do is just click on the Enter Now button, and it'll take you to the page to enter. All right, so next up here, plugin we've got for you today. This is one that I have used recently. It's called the WP Google Review Slider. And they do have a free version of this plugin. And the free version will work for you for some good basic stuff. What it does for you, if you have a business or a company site that has Google Places reviews, Facebook reviews, Yelp reviews, TripAdvisor reviews, etc., getting those reviews over to your website can be a bit of a chore. Sometimes you can use their app or their widget, put it on your site, but the content doesn't stay on your site. The content's over on their site. With Google reviews, even when you bring it to your site, they only allow you to bring 5 of them, and they give you the 5 most prominent ones. Well, fortunately, those 5 prominent ones change on a regular basis. So what this plugin does for you is it allows you to bring those reviews over to your site, and then it puts them into your database where you can then go through and do some serious customizations. Now, I'm going to show you the customizations from their site, and those customizations are the layouts. You can put them in the sliders, you can customize the stars, customize the icons, customize the gravatar type image, etc., etc. You can have a pop-up down at the bottom of the page. There's so many things that this one's doing. I'm busy working it through with a client's website right now, how to get it set up. You can set them up in widgets and other areas. And because the content is stuck into your database, it's in your site. So it adds to your SEO, and it allows you to bring it in. Now, the free version only works with Google. They do have a couple of other free version plugins, so you'd have to involve the separate ones for Yelp, TripAdvisor, and Thumbtack. But if you want Facebook ones, which a lot of people have Facebook reviews too, you need the premium version. And so my client opted for the premium version. It's only $29 for a single site license. Not bad at all. Install it, activate it, go through the setup process, and it imports those reviews beautifully and smoothly from all those places that your client has. And now you've integrated them into the site. You can integrate them into page posts, you can integrate them as their standalone, you can integrate them into sidebars, etc., etc. Fantastic plugin, worked well, exactly the way they promised it, everything I needed for my client. So go check this one out. It is the WP Google review slider, and I give it a full 5 dragon rating. Sure enough, Larry, had to. You just heard it talking up way too much. Okay. Next up, we got here feedback, listener feedback. I do love listener feedback. I love the good, the bad, the ugly, and prefer the good, but I'll take whatever is given to me. At any rate, I'll read it out, and if need be, I might even comment on it. Most of the time, I'll just let it slide. We do have a new review from iTunes this week. It is from the Canadian store, 5-star review in iTunes from Epileptic 29549. Title of it, Great Information on Plugins. I don't find all the plugins applicable, not using Woocommerce, but generally in a month there will be 1 to 3 great plugins that I will explore to see if they fit into my sites. Also, the discussion of various plugins plant seeds in my mind of what could be used in the websites. I just wanted to mention about your last contest and why I didn't enter. I live on Bowen Island, just off the coast of West Vancouver Island, and while the plugins sounded great, the maps were for the USA. I don't live there, not sure I want to visit there anymore. I would have entered if there was an option to get the map for Canada or even BC instead of the US. Would love to contribute to your podcast, but currently all but one of the websites I manage are for non-profits and I work on them for free. Hopefully in the future, I will get some paying clients and that will allow me to expand. So unfortunately, all you can get from me is an iTunes review. 5 dragons. Keep up the great work. Love the new format and the sounds. Well, thank you very much. I really appreciate that comment. And, well, yeah, you're living just north of me. I know where Bowen Island is. It's a nice little chunk right off the side of the island. Hey, at any rate, if you're down here in Victoria, come down for one of the meetups. I'll be happy to chat with you. I'm not sure who sent this out, but I'm sure it's somebody I may have come across in the WordPress community here before. But hey, thanks a lot. And as for the maps, well, you never know. You might just land an American client. And then you have the map to go with it already. It's a tough one. Who knows? Maybe you could even talk to the developers and maybe they'll trade it for you. You just don't know what you might be able to work out. You never know. That's always the gig. You know, think, how can we work with this? So thank you very much. I appreciate it. And those reviews, keep them coming. And I'll keep putting them up on here. This show, value for value model, meaning if you get any value out of it, please give some value back. And in that vein, I'd like to acknowledge those who've supported the show in the past week. All donations $50 and over, their note is read out and published here. For those who come in below 50, thank you very much. You remain anonymous. This week we have from JezWeb Pty Ltd, donation of $50. A note from JezWeb, this donation is on behalf of the Lake Boat Hire. Got a wrong URL here for some reason. Click a URL and for some reason it didn't work. All right, we'll try that again because that was supposed to just go smoothly and properly. Okay, well, I got a typo in the URL. That would be my bad. All right, it's from the Lake Boat Hire at topoftheLakeBoatHire.com.au, who have holiday houseboats for hire on Lake Macquarie in Australia. It is a WordPress website created by JezWeb at jezweb.com.au and features a homepage background video. I wanted to kind of see that. I didn't check this out beforehand. That's my bad. I won't do that one again. And you'll hear all about Gutenberg when I get there after the end of the show. And a big thank you. So thank you very much, Jez. I really appreciate your support of the show. You've been a great supporter this last year and a bit. And keep it coming if you can. And please, other people, join him. Help support the show. Help pay for it. None of the money goes into my pocket. It goes to pay for the expenses. So I'd also like to say a big thank you to our Patreon donations. Your donations came through yesterday, I believe. So thank you very much for those donations, for all my Patreon supporters. And Patreon is being revamped for additional information that is going to be up and coming. So stay tuned for that. And if you would like to support the show, simply go to wppluginsa2z.com/donate. It's just a simple form, your name, your email, whether or not you want to subscribe to the newsletter, a message, and then a donation amount. So send that in and donate to the show. Runs through PayPal. And the final plugin I've got for you here today, the last one I've got, is Gravity Forms All Fields Template. Now, what this one is for, I got this one because I was working on a client site. We were working through a very complicated, customized form in Gravity Forms. And if you don't know, Gravity Forms is it is the best forms plugin for WordPress. It is so versatile. There's so many things you can do with it. And there's so many plugins that plug in the Gravity Forms to expand it out beyond what they've set it up to do. And that's the reason I've been sticking with Gravity Forms ever since the beginning. The other reason, of course, is I have a legacy license with them, so I pay a very small amount for their license fee to have the ultra premium version, which is like $300 a year now. No, I don't pay that. But that's what you get when you buy early and stick with them, for companies that actually honored their legacy licenses. We all know what Woocommerce did. So, at any rate, Gravity Forms, best plugin. Well, what this plugin here does for you is we needed this form we were working on to go through and send 2 different versions out when completed. We need a version sent to the administrator who was receiving the form. We needed a version sent to the person filling out the form. Now, the form had fields on it that the person filling it out could fill out or not fill out, but they didn't need to get that information when they got the copy of the form for themselves, because mostly for their own records of what they had done. But that information needed to go to the administrator so that they could make sure it was filled out or fill it out themselves to fill out that information. So this is a little bit of work, and it was a challenge. Like, how was I going to exclude certain fields from being submitted via the notification process? And I was digging, and I ran across this one here, and it's all fields. Well, what they've also got in here is not only all fields, but you can negatively change the fields. You can go all fields except, or all fields included, or all fields filtering them all out. There's a lot of different things you can do. You can nest them and tweak them, customize the template in multiple ways. It's got a lot of parameters in it, a whole lot of things you can go in there and tweak it. So this allowed me to go in and tweak the submission process and make this one a nice premium form set up for my client that goes the way it's supposed to, delivering them exactly what they needed. So anyway, of course, plugin that's simple, does the job, and of all things, it was free. I couldn't believe that. I didn't have to pay for this. So, beautiful plugin. Go check this one out. It's called the Gravity Forms All Field Template, and I give it a 5-dragon rating. And there we have it. Covered up in this episode, the WooCommerce Personalized Product Option Manager plugin, which I gave a 4 to, the Movely plugin, which I gave a 4 to, the WP Google Review Slider, which I gave a 5 to, and the Gravity Forms All Fields template, which I gave a 5 to. So check out those plugins. All right. Now, this is basically a wrap-up of the end of the show, and Gutenberg. It is D-Day for Gutenberg. I myself haven't experienced it yet. I've been dealing with other things this morning and then prepping for the show, etc., etc. So I haven't gone in to see if any of my sites accidentally updated. I'm pretty sure they didn't. I've had them all set to prevent the update because I wasn't ready to deal with Gutenberg. And as far as Gutenberg goes, I'm of 2 minds of it. Gutenberg is, I used Medium, I think, and Gutenberg is so much remind me of Medium, and I found it to be a pain in the neck to have to click 3 times to do things, or every time I wanted a new paragraph, because sometimes I create content in the back end, sometimes I don't, sometimes I just cut and paste. It's a mixture, and I'm sure it's a mixture for most people using it. The problem with Gutenberg is not what it's going to do, because it is going to change things, and eventually we're going to adapt to it. Like every other change that's been crammed down our throats, we eventually adapt to it. The problem with Gutenberg is that they're rolling it out with a lot of issues in it. You read all the stuff across it, you read track tickets and everything, there's still bugs in the system. There's still plugins that aren't compatible. Some of them are plugins that are used by millions of sites that are not completely compatible. Now, granted, most of the major developers out there have been burned in the midnight oil trying to get Gutenberg up to, or getting their plugins up to speed for Gutenberg. But a lot of people were figuring that we were going to be looking at January, because they had missed so many dates. Maybe finally they're going to surrender it. But of course, well, Matt Mullenweg, I've had my things to say about him over the years. I've never actually talked to the man. I don't think he actually, well, for a while I think he listened to this show, but I don't think he does anymore. And he is a person that does things his way. He's a bit of a douchebag. He's proven that. He did that a few years ago when he bought that domain out from under, I forget the guys that had it. I forgot that mess. He's done that, you know, pulled all kinds of hairy things. At any rate, he was bound determined that this was going to launch before WordCamp US. That was his stated goal. He'd stated it somewhere back. And people just thought maybe he would see reason and not launch it. The big problem here is not the people who know how to handle things if it goes wrong. The big problem is the hundreds and thousands or millions of sites out there of people who manage their own sites, have minimal tech knowledge, and maybe they run a website, a small e-commerce store that makes, you know, a few $1,000s a month. You know, maybe that's their entire living. So what they see is they see a new WordPress plugin, or a new WordPress is out. Oh, 5 is out. It's ready. I'm in the middle of my December shopping season. You know, oh, I can update now. It's always been safe before. Click update, and some plugin that they have, either part of their Woocommerce or somewhere else along the way, doesn't work. Crashes their site. This is going to affect a lot of people in a lot of ways. There's going to be a lot of companies where clients, like I have clients that manage their own sites, but I still am on call to them for when things break. I haven't had any phone calls from my clients yet or emails saying, oh my God, I updated to 5 and now my site is broken. I do expect a few of those over the next couple of days. It always seems to happen. But this is why they should have held off on this until at least after a major shopping season. Everyone's gone on about, oh, it's the holidays. Why everyone's celebrating? No, it's not about holidays here. I don't care where you are in the globe right now. It's a major shopping season everywhere. And that's what it is. It's an e-commerce shopping season. It's information, lots of things like that. So this is what it is. But we are here. They've launched it. If you haven't updated, do not update unless you've tested everything thoroughly. I'm going to be testing my stuff. In fact, I've discovered some bugs in the WP plugins database I had to correct yesterday, which means I've got an issue in there I've got to fix. And so I'm looking at having to rebuild. So I'm going to rebuild with Gutenberg. And the theme that my site is currently on, I was waiting. They just launched their update today, which is supposed to be Gutenberg ready, so I'll be testing that. So yeah, so what we got here? Yeah, there should have been direct communication. Yes, thanks, Larry. And the impact, nobody's going to know for another 3 or 4 days, because every time there was a major update, it was 3 or 4 days before you saw everything come through. The millions of people that have WordPress installed, well, there's no way to really contact them, unfortunately. You could put something in their dashboard, but nobody ever reads the dashboard stuff. They become ad blind to it. It's like seeing advertisements on Facebook or advertisements on Google. You don't even see the ads anymore. The millions of people, at least the percentage that they reached with make core updates. Yeah, they could have tried that, but they didn't do a lot. And it was Mullenweg, Matt Mullenweg was just forcing his agenda through. That's all he was doing. He was pushing his agenda and was determined that that was what was going to happen. Come hell or high water, he didn't care if there were still problems there. This is what he wants, this is what's going to happen. I mean, for those that have ever doubted it, you know, Matt has thoroughly run the way WordPress has been directed. There's been several things in the past that I've been that I've seen come and go, because I've been involved with WordPress since 2007. Yeah, that was when my youngest son was born. So 10 years almost. The year my youngest son was born was when I got involved in WordPress. And I've seen Matt push through things that the community didn't want. They did not want this, or they wanted it to be implemented in a more sustainable pattern. But instead, he just shoved it through. And then what happened was, for weeks and months after, there was bugs and people and crashes and broken sites. And, well, it brought me a lot of work. You know, that's about all I could really say for it. It brings a lot of work to the guys, but this is what happens. So there's not a lot we can do, and we're just going to have to accept it. Or you can jump onto the other bandwagon that is out there, which is the now Classic Press, the Classic Press fork. C-L-A-S-S. Classic Press. You can check out the Classic Press fork of WordPress, and this is an interesting thing that I've discovered. And I may start adding their plugins into the WP Plugins show. Maybe have a sub-segment here, because somehow I think this is going to grow. The Classic Press is a fork of WordPress as it stood at WordPress 4.98. They forked it from there, and they've been revamping it. They're in beta 1 right now, and they've already starting to list out the plugins that are compatible, and they've been talking to plugin authors to see about helping keep them compatible. So I think this is going to be a bit of a growing community. Will it be a WordPress killer? Hard to say. We'll see what happens in 5 years. I mean, after all, WordPress was a fork of BBPress, and I remember using BBPress. It took WordPress a few years to grow. So you never know what could happen along the lines. At any rate, that's what I really have to say about, yeah, put the Classic Editor plugin is a good way to keep your website working. Every one of my websites has the Classic Editor plugin installed on it. So that was to prevent anything from accidentally occurring. One of the big things to do, this is a big one if you accidentally update WordPress to 5.0, is if you don't have Classic Editor installed, install and activate it, and it should unbreak everything. Where 5 will break it, because they default set it for Gutenberg to be active. No option. If 5 is installed and you don't have the Classic Editor installed, it's automatically Gutenberg Editor. And they didn't even include the Classic Editor with the 5 release. So that's all of that random stuff there. That's taken me into quite the lengthy show today. So I think I'll leave it at that. Thank you, everyone, for showing up today. Thanks a lot, Larry, for all of your stuff here. I much appreciate it. Eventually, I'm going to learn how to type and talk at the same time, instead of just looking over at the comments and talking to them online. So for those of you who want to see the things Larry said, make sure you go check out the live replay of the show. Somewhere you can pop in there and see all the comments from Larry. All right, so we'll wrap it up at that. We'll call it that. And one last thing here, don't forget a couple last things. The WordPress meetups are coming. We have our next WordPress meetup in Victoria on January 22nd. And it'll be broadcast live on YouTube. And that broadcast is getting better as I learn how to do it, of course. So the next one should be much better than the last one. So go check it out. It's down here in Victoria. It's located at the Community Center over on Craigflower Road. And that's where we'll be having it. So go check it out. Sign up for the meetup. Link is in the show notes for those of you on the island or happen to stop into Victoria in January, at the end of January. Be sure to check out and subscribe to our YouTube channel for WP Plugins, and that's where you can catch the show live every Thursday at noon. And if you pop in a few minutes early, I do have a pre-stream that I start now. And no, I didn't mention that WordCamp was tomorrow. I just said he wanted it before WordCamp. Yes, WordCamp US starts tomorrow, runs from December 7th to December 9th. It's kind of interesting that it's on December 7th. After all, that is a day that lives in infamy. I would have found it more amusing if they dropped Gutenberg on December 7th. One big bomb. That's sad. That's no bad. So Yes, go check out WordCamp. They have live streams for WordCamp. I believe they have paid and free tickets that are available. I remember seeing and reading something about it. I haven't been to a WordCamp myself in several years, and so we used to have them here in Victoria, and they convoluted it so much that we now have Social Media Camp instead of WordCamp. And final note to developers, if you would like to support the show, please offer up a premium license to give away. Please go to wppluginsa2z.com/plugin contest. Yes, virtual tickets. You can watch the live streams. So I don't know what the virtual tickets cost though. So hey, donate to the show. And that's pretty much it. Don't forget to subscribe to the newsletter. And thanks a lot for your little tips and reminders, Larry. I really appreciate you getting in here and helping make the show a little more interactive. So over time, it's going to get there. Also, virtual tickets are zero costs for the virtual tickets to WordCamp US. There you go. You can attend for free from your living room. And I'm sure they have some really good video. They usually do for that. I've watched a few of the replays on WordPress TV or WordCamp TV. One of those two. All right, that's all I got for you. I'm going to let my girl take us out of here. So take care now. Bye-bye. Whoops, wrong button.
Reminders for the show. All the show notes can be found at wppluginsa2z.com. And while you're there, subscribe to the Friday newsletter for more useful information delivered directly to your inbox. WP Plugins A to Z is a show that offers honest and unbiased reviews of plugins created by developers because you support the show. Help keep the show honest and unbiased by going to wppluginsa2z.com/donate and set the donation level that fits your budget. Help us make the show better for you by subscribing and reviewing the show at Stitcher Radio, Google Play, and in the iTunes Store. You can also watch the show live on YouTube, check out the screencasts and training videos, and remember to subscribe and hit the bell to get notifications of all new videos. Also, follow the show on Twitter at WPPluginsA2Z. John can be reached at his website at johnoverall.com or send him an email, john@wppro.ca. Thanks for joining us and have a great day.
Thanks for listening to the show. This show is copyright by johnoverall.com. So until next time, have yourselves a good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you happen to be out there on the globe today.
Take care now. Goodbye.